there. Definitely don't want to go back.
Our third Crouton this morning is a tax collector with the Florida Department of Revenue. She has been a Toastmaster for 3.5 years. She is the mother of 3 teenage daughters aged 19, 17, and 15. Her title of her speech this morning is In My Image. Please welcome to the lectern with me this morning, Toastmaster Pamela Neal. Fellow members and guests, the church of my childhood is where it all begins for me. The church of my childhood has influenced every area of my life. I can remember as a little girl growing up in the South, going to church on Sundays. Going to Sunday school, my Uncle Gene each Sunday would have me read a passage from the Sunday school book. And if I didn't get it right, he would say it again. But this time, say it and say it with meaning. You know you can do better than that. He had so much faith in us as children growing up. My ancestors arrived here as property, but then they were people with a going-on spirit. They didn't let anything stop them from getting or doing what they needed to do. They paved the way for us. As a little girl growing up, I fell in love with books. Books are the reason why I'm here now in Toastmasters. As a little Southern black girl, the books, they influenced every area of my life. The books took me to places that I couldn't go. As children, our homes define us. They make us who we are. It's not so much the material possessions that are in the home, it's the warmth and the love that you get from the home. As a little girl, on Saturdays, I would spend my summers, most of my summers were spent in Georgia. From the time I was about 6 years old until I was about 12. Each summer, me and my brother Michael, we would get packed up and we would go spend our summers in Georgia. Our family owned their land. That was very unusual during that time for black Americans to own their own land. We would go back to Georgia to work the farm. We would work what was called tobacco and the okra fields. Those experiences taught us the value of work and what it meant to work for what you wanted, to not expect anybody to give you anything. During that time, also, my church experiences, they made me the person that I am today. I thank my family for everything that they did for us. Most of my family, they migrated from the South up north. My grandmother said it was called the Chicken Bone Express. A lot of people moved from the South because they wanted to go north for a better life. Most of my family, they moved to Chicago, Detroit, California, and we basically spread throughout this nation. This life, this dance called life, can have you doing the Watusi in 1 minute, then it can have you dropping it like it's hot. When I got older, my childhood was the best experiences for me. When I got older, I married and I had 3 kids. Then I got a divorce and I moved back home. It was a cold, rainy Sunday morning in November. It felt as if the weight of the world was on my shoulders. You see, I didn't know how I would provide for myself and 3 kids. I went from being a middle-class wife to a single mother overnight. It was during this time I learned the power of positive thoughts. I didn't realize it at the time, but my grandmother instilled this in me from childhood with her pearls of wisdom. I can also remember being a little girl. My grandparents, their home was full of love. They would keep the light on at night and during the day. The light meant that you could come on in, let's have a talk, let's sit down. Everybody in the community came to their home. I think a lot of the problems that are in society today are because of people not being together with their family. The family is what is missing in society today. If we were to go back to a lot of the things that we used to do, I think a lot of our problems would go away. Not all of them. Then, also, as a little girl, people would always come to my grandmother's house for wisdom, just to talk. I remember the house being full of love. We had what was called a front room. In the summer, we spent this time outside on the porch, but in the winter, we would come inside in the front room. The front room held a lot of bodies. The front room was just a big room for everybody to come in and sit down and have talks. Her pearls of wisdom have affected me a great deal. Those are the words that you sometimes hear me speak when I'm standing here. They help me to make it through. One of my favorites quotes or inspirational thoughts is from poet Marianne Williamson. It simply states, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us." We ask ourselves, who am I to be great, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God, and your playing small does not serve this world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that others will not feel insecure around you. Another thing that my grandmother taught me, to always use your words of wisdom. They'll help you make it through. When the world is mean to you, I can remember. When the world is mean to you, you have to become like concentrate. When they try to put word on you, you have to get bigger. In closing, as my grandmother used to say, be patient for the things you want in life, because the good Lord does not serve no wine before it's time. Madam Secretary.